I remember the fitna of Algeria. And those people, Abbasi Madani and those who were in charge of that fitna of that time, Safar and Salman. None of us, any of the Salafis that were around in that time in the early 90s, we said Al-Albani, Bin Baz, Ibn Uthaymeen. Even Sheikh Rabi, Al-Albani, Bin Baz, Ibn Uthaymeen. That's what they used to say, and that's what we used to say in that time. When the fitna came of Ihya Turath, we wanted to know who are the ones from the major scholars. What are they saying? Al-Albani. We went to Sheikh Abdul Aziz bin Baz and what he said about Abdul Rahman al-Khaliq when he commanded him to make tawbah for what he said about Muhammad Amin Shanqiti. And when the fitna of the Ahzab came, and we went to see Sheikh Rabi, and Sheikh Rabi spoke, and Sheikh Muqbil spoke, and Al-Albani spoke. And Ibn Uthaymeen spoke. When they asked him about Safar and Salman, he said, don't listen to the tapes of Safar and Salman. Listen to the tapes of the ulama, the elder ones. This was Ibn Uthaymeen. They went to see Sheikh Al-Albani about Safar and his book, Dhahiratul Irja. He said, I used to say 30 years ago that the Jamaat al-Tabligh are the Sufis of the era. And I say to you now, these are the Khawarij of the era. Al-Kibar, we used to go to them. We used to go to Sheikh Rabi' and Sheikh Muqbil. What do you say about Ihya Turath? He said, we know about Turath. I advised Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq for 7 years at Hajj time, outside of Hajj time. This is what Sheikh Rabi used to say. He said this is before he wrote the 3 books that he wrote in refutation. Ulama al-Kibar. And now we have this distorted, deviated methodology that has arisen among some of the Shabab. The Kibar, they don't know. The Ulama al-Kibar, they don't know. The Sigar, they know. Say, why don't the Ulama al-Kibar know? Because they have a bitana to su, bitana to sayyi'ah. They have evil inner circle around them that are filling their heads. So now they want the people to leave the Ta'ifatul Mansura. They want us to leave those whom the scholars have referred to as the Ta'ifatul Mansura al-Jama'ah. They want you to abandon Rabi', abandon Ubaid, abandon Al-Fawzan, and go to the Sigar, and go to the anonymous ones who are with them. They want you to abandon the Kibar. So now you can't go to Sheikh Rabi, because Sheikh Rabi, you can't trust his speech, because his head is filled, they say. Same thing that Ali al-Halabi used to say about Sheikh Rabi. Sheikh Rabi said he's a scholar, muhaddith, a great man from the Kibar al-Ulama. But the problem with Sheikh Rabi' is that he's surrounded by evildoers and they are filling his head. Halabi used to say that about Sheikh Rabi'. Hajuri used to say that about Sheikh Rabi'. And now a new wave has come saying that about Sheikh Rabi'. And Sheikh Rabi' said, no, I am not influenced except by the haqq. Sheikh Rabi' is telling you, I have read what you have written. And what you have written is futile and falsehood. And it does not amount to even an atom's weight of a dalil. I am telling you, I have read what you have written, it is not haqq. He didn't say that they have influenced me, I've heard what they've said. He said, I've read what you have written when you visited me. That's what Sheikh Rabi said. Don't lie about the Sheikh. I know you visited Sheikh Rabi'. I know those who visited Sheikh Rabi'. Abu Hakim knows. Abu Muhammad Maghribi knows. Hassan al-Somali knows. We know who visited Sheikh Rabi'. And we know that you visited Sheikh Rabi'. And we know that you tried to present your dalil to Sheikh Rabi'. Don't say Sheikh Rabi' was influenced by others. You came to Sheikh Rabi'. And others from amongst you came to Sheikh Rabi'. And the door was not closed to you to Sheikh Rabi'. Because then you advertised that. And you WhatsApped it. And you tweeted it. I went to see Sheikh Rabi', you said. And I told Sheikh Rabi' such and such. And I told Sheikh Rabi' such and such. And you told me in my ear. And you told Abu Hakim. And you told Hassan Somali. And you told Uwais Tawil. And you told Abdulillah al-Ahmami. And you told the other brothers. In your company you said, I visited Sheikh Rabi'. So don't say Sheikh Rabi' was influenced because you visited him. This is a lie upon Sheikh Rabi'. That you say that this Imam of the Sunnah is surrounded by evildoers, such that they prevent the truth from reaching the Shaykh. You took what you regarded to be the truth to Shaykh Rabi. What are you talking about? And those who are with you, you took it to Shaykh Rabi. You can lie, or you can tell untruths, or you can twist the truth to those who don't know, but we know. We know because we were there. And we saw it with our eyes and we heard it with our ears. You're not speaking to the one who was absent. You're not speaking to the one who did not hear you speak. We sat with all of them. All of those mashayikh, we sat with them. Ask Abu Hakim, ask Uwais, ask Abdul Ilah, ask Hassan al-Somali. Ask them. Ask Abu Muhammad Maghribi in America. Ask them. They were there. We were there. We heard it. We saw it. Don't try to deceive now. That the only reason Shaykh Rabi' is not agreeing with you in the issue of the Sa'afiqah is because Shaykh Rabi' doesn't know. And Shaykh Rabi' didn't read. Shaykh Rabi' told you, I read it. قرأتها من البداية إلى النهاية. The wathaiq, I read it all. I read them all. From the beginning to the end. Harfan, word for word, I read it all. What more do you want? Not only that, you visited him. No one closed the door. No one mixed up your papers and said, Khalas, we'll keep that one to one side so Shaykh Rabi doesn't see it. You took it yourself. And you told us that you went to see Shaykh Rabi'. And others have seen you in the house of Shaykh Rabi', trying to argue with Shaykh Rabi'. So speak the truth. All of you speak the truth about this affair. What, you think you're speaking to people who don't know? You can lie to those who don't know. Or you can twist the truth. Or you can show a part of the truth and hide the reality. But we know. That's why you can't say nothing. Barakallahu feekum. Because we were there. And you spoke to us. Not once, not twice, 3 times, 3 sittings, then telephone calls. How many times? And then when Shaykh Rabi rejected you, then Shaykh Rabi becomes old in age. Too old, the Shaykh is too old. Leave him. The Shaykh is sick. The Shaykh is sick. So what do you want? You want the people to say, don't take from Shaykh Rabi, he's too old, he's too sick. That's what they're saying now. Oh, Shaykh Rabi is surrounded by evildoers. So don't blame Shaykh Rabi. Blame the evildoers who are filling his head. This is what they're saying now. Then you start speaking about Shaykh Ubaid because you know Shaykh Ubaid, the door is close to you. To Shaykh Ubaid. Because Shaykh Ubaid knows your plots from years. Those who have been hatching those plots. Shaykh Ubaid knows. So Shaykh Ubaid closed the door. He didn't say much. Just close the door. As is the way of the Shaykh. Doesn't want to increase the fitna, increase the fasad or whatever. Doesn't want to. He just said ignore all of that. Don't listen to them. Don't be deceived by them. This is Shaykh Rabi. Shaykh Ubaid. Simple words. Simple words from Shaykh Ubaid. Look at the kibar. These are the elder scholars of the ummah. 20, 30 years we trusted them. In the issue of the blood that was being spilt in Algeria, we trusted them. These are the ulama, we trusted them when he came to Ihya Turaf, Abdul Rahman, Abdul Khaliq. We trusted them in the issue of Ali al-Halabi and the fitna of Halabi, the fitna of Hajuri. All of a sudden, we rip all of that up. What's changed? They haven't changed. These are the same ulama. The same ulama that we have been visiting. Don't hide. Don't hide the truth, barakallahu feekum. We know. We know this reality. So Shaykh Ubaid closed the door to them. No. So now, Shaykh Ubaid, look what they say about Shaykh Ubaid. Shaykh Ubaid opposed the ijma' of the Salaf. Shaykh Ubaid, such and such. Shaykh Ubaid, you can't take from him. Shaykh Ubaid doesn't know anything. Shaykh Ubaid's knowledge does not equate to anything, not even a halala, not even a penny. Abdullah al-Bukhari, he's with the Sa'afiqah. Can we go and sit with Shaykh Abdullah Bukhari? No. Don't sit with Abdullah Bukhari. And then you're going to blindly follow that opinion? Where's your dalil for abandonment of Abdullah al-Bukhari and Shaykh Ubaid al-Jabari? All of these now, Musafiqah. None of them go to Shaykh Ubaid or Abdullah bin Abdurrahim al-Bukhari. Abandon him. They don't sit with them. Shaykh Rabi, they don't go to him anymore. Stopped. So where's the good? You say he's good. So where's the good? You abandon these three scholars, the two elder ones, Sheikh Rabi' and Sheikh Ubaid, and then the slightly younger one, or the younger one from them, Sheikh Abdullah bin Abdurrahim al-Bukhari. You abandon all of them. Where's your dalil? It's gone beyond Sa'afiqa. It's gone beyond just the students of Sheikh Ubaid and Sheikh Rabi'. You are attacking the ulama themselves. Don't hide behind Arafat Muhammadi or Muhammad bin Ghalib or Abdullah Juhani. Don't hide behind those screens. Don't hide behind your attacks against Abdullah bin Salfiq al-Dhafiri. Don't hide behind that. Because now you have raised the bar. Now Sheikh Rabi is a target. Sheikh Ubaid is a target. And Sheikh Abdullah bin Abdurrahim al-Bukhari is a target. And especially Sheikh Ubaid and Sheikh Abdullah. Because you know, one kalima comes from your tongue about Sheikh Rabi', and you know what the ummah will do to you. They will abandon you. They will abandon you. But you think you can get away by speaking against Abdullah, Sheikh Ubaid al-Jabri and Abdullah al-Bukhari. Because it began with Sheikh Arafat. It began. We are not saying that they are ma'soom. They themselves don't say that. That's why they say, give us our mistakes, we'll make tawbah. What do you want? What? Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen didn't make tawbah if he made a mistake? Sheikh Al-Albani didn't make tawbah if he made a mistake? Sheikh bin Baz didn't make tawbah when they make mistake? Sheikh Muqbil didn't? Sheikh Rabi didn't? This is the way of the ulama. Bring them the truth and they'll make tawbah. What's your issue? What's all of this secrecy that you're working around? Bring the dalil like Sheikh Rabi said. If there's haqq with you, we'll sit. If there's haqq with you, they'll make tawbah, make tarajud. This is the way of Ahlus-Sunnah. When has Ahlus-Sunnah, when they've made a mistake, never returned to the haqq? In the issues of usul, in the issues of qawaid, in the issues of aqeedah, in the issues of manhaj. As for the issues of ijtihad, where the scholars generally have differed for centuries, umur ijtihadiyya, far'iyya, where the scholars have made ijtihad because of the multitude of evidences, no, then a person can have his ijtihad from the ulama. If you have errors of these brothers and these mashayikh, then they are ready to make tawbah. What's your problem? When Sheikh Abdullah bin Abdurrahim al-Bukhari said, sit, and they are ready to sit. Sheikh Rabi said, sit, and they are ready to sit. What's your issue? Why the backbiting? Why the namima? Why tearing of the ranks of Ahlus-Sunnah in every country? In Algeria torn, in Libya torn, in Morocco torn, parts of America torn, parts of Canada torn, Holland torn, France torn apart, Indonesia torn apart. Why? Because you decide to speak against a group of brothers without referring the affair to Ahlul Ilm, the Kibar, the Ulama, that you learned from, that you studied with. They are in this position of your father. They are 40 years, 35 years, 30 years your senior. You were a boy and they were already scholars of this ummah. Why don't you refer to them? Why do you believe that you need to go it alone? And you abandon and you put the ulama to one side. You say, yeah, Sheikh, why don't you go to the ulama? Why don't you go to Sheikh Rabi? Sheikh Rabi, old. Excuse him, he's old and he's got a bitanatu su. Bitanatu sayyi'ah. His inner circle is corrupted. They're sinners and they're evildoers. هذا رجل شر. Fulan shar. Fulan evil. Fulan wicked. What's this? Go and sit with Sheikh Rabi'. He's our father. He's your father. We love him as we love you. As we used to love you up until you began this fitna. It's not just one. I'm not just talking about one person who has spoke. All of those who are hiding behind their accounts. Wallahi, we didn't come to... What we learned from Dawah Salafiyah from the early 90s till now is not what's happening now. We were always taught and we were raised from our early 20s. We were raised that kibar, don't abandon the major scholars because they are the Ahmad ibn Hanbals of this era. They are the Yahya bin Ma'ins of this era. They are the Ali Madinis of this era. They are the Bukharis of this era. They are the great Imams of this era. They are the elder ones. Don't abandon them. Don't speak ill of Sheikh bin Baz. Don't speak ill of Ibn Uthaymeen. Don't speak ill of Al-Albani. Don't speak ill of Muqbil. Don't speak ill of Rabi'. Don't open up and don't look for pathways to attack their positions. Don't do that. Don't warn against the likes of their students. And definitely don't warn against the ulama. Don't warn against Sheikh Ubaid, because Sheikh Ubaid was warned against. Wallahi. They warned against Sheikh Ubaid. I know, because I heard it with these ears. Sheikh Ubaid was warned against. Sheikh Abdullah bin Abdul Rahim was warned against. Till this day. He's the head of the Sa'afiqa. He's the leader of the Sa'afiqa. And Maktaba Salafiyah are behind him. And Maktaba Salafiyah rather in front of him, meaning they are following him. What kalam is this about the scholars? And now you see them. Alhamdulillah, the UK in general has been saved. But one or two infiltrators are trying to come in now to split our ranks. Alhamdulillah, we have rijal here. Just like as there are rijal in every country where Ahlus-Sunnah have da'wah. And they will not allow these infiltrators to come, because all they do is whisper behind your back. I'm here. You know Abu Khadeejah and Abu Hakim and Abu Idris and the likes of Hassan al-Somali, Abu Muhammad al-Maghribi and some of the other brothers, Uwais Tawil, Abdulillah. You know we sat with those scholars. You know that we have information and news that you don't even have. You don't have it. You know we have it. But you rather whisper to this young brother here and that young brother there and WhatsApp this one and WhatsApp that one. Oh, I heard something about Uwais. Oh, I heard something about Abu Hakim. Oh, even Abu Hakim now is at fork. But keep it to yourself. What's this? It's da'wah sirriya. Come and talk. Tell us if you know more than us about this affair, from its beginning to its end. See if you know more than us. See if you have sat with all of the ulama that we sat with in this issue. Again, I don't say that we are ascribing infallibility to anyone. Nobody is infallible. Anyone can make a mistake. But how dare you deal with Ahlus-Sunnah in this manner? That you make it wajib upon people to abandon them and to quit them and to boycott them and not to talk to them and not to go to their events and don't even go to the house of Abdullah al-Bukhari, Sheikh Abdullah Bukhari. Don't go to his masjid and don't sit with him. Why? Show me where he has opposed the Aqeedah of Wasitiyah. Show me where he has opposed Sharh al-Sunnah of Barbahari. Show me where he has opposed the Aqeedah of Ahmad ibn Hanbal. Show me where he has opposed Ibn Taymiyyah or Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab or Sheikh Abdul Aziz bin Baz or Al-Albani. Show me. What? I'm supposed to make taqleed of you? I left the taqleed of Abu Hanifa and Shafi and Ahmed to make taqleed of you? What am I, Majnoon? Over 50 years old now, or 50 years old now. And after all of these years, I'm going to leave my brain and leave it at home and leave the house without it? What's happened to the uqul? My brothers and sisters, this issue that is being spread today is an issue that is dangerous, and it is a fitna. But it is only a fitna for the one who does not know the ulama and the worth of the ulama and the status of the ulama, and know who the major scholars are and who has been defending this da'wah to Salafiyah for the last 30, 40 years. Look at the proponents of this issue of the Sa'afiqah. Look at their writings. And look what Sheikh Rabi has written. Sheikh Rabi, over 300 books. Show us your writing. Show us what you have done that even comes close to what Sheikh Rabi has done. And this Imam, you want the people to leave? And then you say, no, I'm not saying don't leave. I'm not saying leave him. What I'm saying is don't make taqleed of him. No, you're not. Because you sat with him. And he knows the usul better than you, the qawaid better than you, ilm al-hadith better than you, jarh wa-ta'deel better than you. He knows the deen better than you. You know that. And you are a witness to that. That Sheikh Rabi knows all of these qawaid that you are using. He is a'lam mink. He's more knowledgeable than you. So why are you going to abandon him? And you know that Sheikh Ubaid is more knowledgeable than you in all of these qawaid and usul. So don't say that you know better than them, because you don't know better than them. You don't know how to establish iqamatul hujjah. You don't know how to implement those principles that you claim that you are using of jarh wa ta'deel and ilm al-rijal and books of hadith. Yes, you have ilm, But you don't say that you have even come close to Sheikh Rabi' or even Sheikh Ubaid. You don't, and you know you don't, because he's the Imam of Jarh wa Ta'dil. And he's a muhaddith. Look at his books. Look at his writings. Look at his teachings. Look at his fatawa. Look at his rasail. Look at his radud. Wallahi, if I started, I could not give you, unless I have a list in front of me, I could not tell you more than 30 or maybe 20 or 30 books of Sheikh Rabi'. Abu Hakim could probably double or triple that. Right? But I tell you, wallahi, if you believe that Sheikh Rabi' is wrong, you don't know Sheikh Rabi'. And you did not know Sheikh Rabi' in the 90s and 80s. You did not know Sheikh Rabi' in the early 2000s. Because only one who can say today that Sheikh Rabi' has not taken the mawqif al-sahih in this issue is the one who does not know Sheikh Rabi', or he has something wrong with his heart. Doesn't know Sheikh Rabi', doesn't know ilm, or there is something wrong with his heart. Because we've been visiting Sheikh Rabi' 2 or 3 times a year since 1996 or 97. Hours and hours and hours that we spent with Sheikh Rabi', day after day with Sheikh Rabi'. We know Sheikh Rabi'. We know how Sheikh Rabi' works and how he gathers evidence and how the limits are. What is the level of proof that you need to bring before you start speaking and attacking Ahlus-Sunnah and removing them from the da'irah of Ahlus-Sunnah, or that you speak with words that necessitate tabdi'. Because they make tabdi' upon a group of Ahlus-Sunnah, the Sa'afiqah, in their eyes. And it is clear, like Sheikh Rabi' said, you make tabdi' upon them. Don't now try and backtrack, well, I meant this and it was mujmal and I didn't make ta'yin. Don't say any of that. You know you make tabdi' upon Ahlus-Sunnah. You call them Sa'afiqah. And when you declare them as Sa'afiqah, then you started using other terms. Count them amongst Ahlul Ahwa. What does that mean, count them amongst Ahlul Ahwa? Is it not tabdi'? How many other terms that you've used, these people have used against these brothers? So are they inside of Ahlus-Sunnah, outside of Ahlus-Sunnah? If they are outside of Ahlus-Sunnah, this is tabdi'. If they are inside of Ahlus-Sunnah, on what basis have you created a group within Ahlus-Sunnah? That you allow a hizb to survive within the da'irah of Ahlus-Sunnah, within the ranks of Ahlus-Sunnah, and you're not purifying? Your purification is how? Where's your nasiha to them? Where's your sitting with them if they are Ahlus-Sunnah? Why do you command with boycotting of them? Why do you command with boycotting of Shaykh Abdullah bin Abdurrahim al-Bukhari? Where are the answers to these questions? Go and sit with Shaykh Rabi' and explain to Shaykh Rabi' then. Go and sit with Shaykh Ubaid. They slander and they make namima and they accuse people. And Ahlus-Sunnah, we're supposed to stay quiet. Alhamdulillah, Da'watul Salafiyah in Britain, between the Marakis, as far as I know, remained upon one united stance. Alhamdulillah. Other countries, Qaddar Allah, that many of those brothers were deceived. But their nasiyah to them should be, go back to the kibar.